Happy New Year, full-time Devils back in 2019. I'm Statman Dave. It's time to get that party started. Dave, I want to ask you first up, with Sanchez set to appear against Newcastle United, what do you think the changes will be for Sanchez under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer versus Jose Mourinho?
I think the easiest change is position. I think he should and will play right wing. But the way we're playing football, with the freedom, that I cannot emphasize it, that's the most obvious thing. I think he will thrive on a whole nother level. But yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing, is play him on the right, please.
It's kind of been a hole in our side. We've seen, of course, Paul Pogba move to number 10 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which has been so good. Again, grabbing 2 goals against Bournemouth. Fantastic stuff for him. But Bokka, a new guy to the channel, a guy that does our graphics, is an absolute legend from Serbia. I'm going to move on to him. Do you think Sanchez will be suited for this right wing role, sort of fluid, moving potentially to the left to number 10? Is it going to suit the Chilean?
I definitely think it will. I definitely think he will not need to go to Luke Shaw, pick up the ball and go front. He will be waiting for it, having the time to trick the defender. And I definitely think we'll see some switching sides like we used to have with Giggs and Ronaldo back in the day. He will be switching side, with the other wingers. And I think we will definitely, see the old good Sanchez that we used to see at Arsenal. I think that he will, tell the haters that they're wrong, that he's not the worst signing we got. And I'm expecting to see a lot of good things from him, even in the next game if he plays real.
Definitely. It's one of those things where Sanchez's level at Arsenal was so good. For United so far, he's not been at that level at all. Lee, from Newcastle Fan TV, big legend. If you are a Newcastle fan, go into the link in the description below. I'm sure you can find those guys there. But Lee, are you afraid of someone like Alexis Sanchez, a mobile forward that on his day could be one of the best players in the Premier League?
You've just said it, Dave. On his day. How many days has he had at United? 1? 2? I'm not worried about Alexis Sanchez one bit. If he plays on the right midfield, let him be. I'm not worried one bit by him. I think his form has been really, really poor under Mourinho. Yes, I know you've got a new manager in Solskjaer, but he's not the same player that he once was. And can Solskjaer bring out the best of him? We'll have to wait and see, but I don't think it'll be Wednesday.
Dave, what do you think Solskjaer needs to do with Sanchez? Is he a type of guy that you need to get your arm around, bring him in, treat him as part of the family? Or do you think he needs a bit of that sort of cold shoulder, I'm going to stick you on the bench and then I'm going to bring you on to make an impact?
Well, in the early days, it seemed like, there were a lot of things coming out that Sanchez, had a couple friends in the dressing room, but it looks like he's very friendly with everyone. And I genuinely believe he just needed someone to change it up. Mourinho, the way he was running the club, the team was it was dreadful. It was bad for everyone. And, I think Solskjaer, he knows the club, he knows the values, and a point that Bokka made is with the freedom, we'll see players switching wings again. Like seeing Martial play on the right wing was beautiful. The freedom he had was something that he wouldn't do under Mourinho. You just wouldn't see that. He wouldn't look comfortable enough to go on that side. But I think he will come into the middle a bit, because a lot of the wide players we have love to come central. But I definitely think he's the best option we have on the right wing, and I think that's where we'll see the best. I think that's what will happen.
It's kind of exciting because he played there for Barcelona in this sort of role where Messi would be a false 9 and Sanchez would move to a striking position. It was an exciting style of football, and we sort of crying out for this right-sided player again. At Bournemouth, when United played Bournemouth at Old Trafford, there was still that slight little bit of a hole in the side where Pogba would drift to sort of the inside left channel, Martial would stay wide, Rashford would be a bit left-sided, and then Lingard would come in. I think that balance there could be provided by Alexis Sanchez. But Bokka, Ollie loves a bit of a 4-4-2. Do you think that could be possible? Maybe Sanchez playing up front with Romelu Lukaku or Rashford?
I definitely think that can be the case, because Sanchez is really, a versatile player. And he can, as you said, be a false 9 or, whatever. He can come back, he can go, he can really mix up the defense and create the space for Lukaku, who can go behind, and finish everything. It's going to be definitely a nice thing to see. And I think, that's definitely a possibility.
I'm excited. I'm very excited with United at the moment. I've got a smile on my face. I've had it all week. It's absolutely incredible. But anyway, guys, let's move on to the second point of discussion today. That is clean sheets. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United have scored so many goals already, but the clean sheets have been something that we've got to find a bit better. Man United were a bit dodgy from corners against Bournemouth. Again, I thought they didn't pick up their men well in the penalty area. Lee, is that something that Newcastle have been good at this season? Is it something they'll look to exploit the Manchester United backline?
It's a possibility, because I think we'll play a wing-back system once more, where you'll not have many room in behind. And going forward, Solomon Rondon has been firing the goals in recently. We've been supplying them with crosses, so a lot of getting the ball out wide, whipping it in, corners, free kicks, set pieces, because I think this will be a game where you'll have a lot of possession, but what can you do with that possession? I know he's been scoring goals recently, but I'm expecting, despite being the home side, we'll have a lot of men behind the ball and try and hit you on the counter despite being the home side. Now, our home form is atrocious at the moment. We're playing so much better away. And I wish this was at Old Trafford. I know we surprised you earlier on in the season by firing all cylinders at you in the first half. But I think for Newcastle fans, just try and soak up the pressure and play a 5 at the back and try and hit you on the counter, in particular set pieces, like you mentioned, Dave.
It's one of those things where Man United really struggled under Mourinho to beat teams that would sit back and defend deep. But under Ole, it looks like we can open up any door. But in terms of those centre-halves, Bokka, that you think Man United should go with, obviously Eric Bailly is suspended for this game following his red card. Who would you partner with Victor Lindelof to keep this clean sheet?
I don't know. I saw that also Smalling is probably unavailable. Rojo too. It's going to be, tricky, but I don't know. It's not, Mourinho, he will maybe put Matic behind them, so I wouldn't want to see that.
We've still got Phil Jones, though. Phil Jones is still there. Obviously, he came off the bench.
I think that he's definitely going to play this match. But my thought about our defense is that, they're still, need to get some confidence. And I'm glad Lindelof is, getting it. And I think we're getting a bit of our luck back because, there were a few situations in the last 3 games which we would definitely concede before. But I think now, we just got some, better positioning or whatever. And I think it's getting better, probably because we attack much more. So we'll see. But I think definitely, Phil Jones and Lindelof, I don't think that anybody else will be available at all.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things. Phil Jones and Lindelof look like they're probably set to start against Newcastle. Dave, do you think that going forward, Man United need to go into the transfer market to get the clean sheet? Is it something like that if we were to spend money on someone like a Koulibaly, that our defensive record would improve? Obviously, we saw Virgil van Dijk join Liverpool. Their defensive record has improved. Is that something that United should do, Dave?
I believe so. I don't know how true it is, but there were rumors that Ole is going to have 50 million. That's not enough to get Koulibaly. However, in the grand scheme of things, going into next season, I think that we definitely need to go into the transfer market, and we just need to get rid of the dead wood. I mean, I respect Phil Jones. He's good, but he's injury prone or he scores own goals, so I don't need that. And then you got Smalling, who is great, but, in certain occasions, I think he could still be useful. And then Eric Bailly goes and gets a red card. It's upsetting because he and Lindelof is just like the dream, but then he goes and gets a red card. So I definitely think we got to go dip into the transfer market, or we could just bring back Axel Tuanzebe. That's cool, but it's not going to happen. So.
Day, yeah. I would absolutely love that. Of course, Day is from Man United Talks. I'd love United to bring back Axel Tuanzebe. He's got so much talent. But anyway, it's time for a little bit of an ad break. You may see it. You may not. Right, it's time to talk about the predicted 11s. The scores, of course, averaged over the season. But Day, your score isn't too great with only 5 points. What happened?
It was a bad time. It was a bad time under Jose Mourinho.
I completely agree.
Yes.
We're going to move on, though. Who are you going to play? What system are you going to go with against Newcastle?
Well, it looks like Ole likes the 4-3-3, so I'm going to stick to what we've seen with United. Obviously, Big Dave is in net because he's just the man. Back 4, might see Ashley Young, but I really want Delo.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Delo. Looks like Jones and Lindelof, or we could just bring Axel Tuanzebe back. But Luke Shaw, obviously, he's amazing. The reinvigorated Nemanja Matic in midfield behind Paul Pogba and Ander Herrera, and a front 3 of Martial. I'm going to stay with Rashford, and I'm going to go for Lingard for the points. I don't know if Sanchez is going to start.
No, you've got to go, Dave. You've got to go with the points. Obviously, you've got a bad score right now, but little question there. Why do you think Nemanja Matic he's changed as well? He's become someone that plays forward. Is that just Ollie?
Yeah, I think Mourinho.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Bokka's team. Bokka, what are you going to go with? What system? Tell me more.
I pretty much agree with Dave. 4-3-3. The back four, I don't think it will change much, from his. I think that Young will play on the right, Shaw on the left, and we will have, Lindelof and Jones in the middle. Dave is, of course, something we don't even talk about. The hair is amazing. Matic, of course, and Pogba and Herrera. And then I think Martial and probably Lingard and Lukaku behind him, except we might see Mata instead of Herrera in the beginning, because Mata used to play good against Newcastle before. So that might also be the case, But I don't think we will see Rashford right now. I think he will have, a bit of rest of this match and maybe even the next one in the cup. So
it might be quite a good thing. He's in unbelievable form at the moment. You just want him to keep playing. That assist for the first Pogba goal was a joke. What brilliant first touch. Beats one man, beats another. There you go, Pogba. There's a little goal for you. But talking about goals, Man United are going to score a lot. What are Newcastle going to do, Lee, to stop United? You, of course, are joint top of the opposition predicted 11 score. So you know what you're talking about. Give me the team. Give me the formation. What is Rafa going to do to stop Man United?
We're going to go wing-backs. We're going to play 5 at the back. It'll be Dubravka, who has had a better season than De Gea.
Whoa.
He has, mind. He has. Dubravka's been sensational. He's our best player. Right wing-back will be Yedlin. Then it'll be Fabian Schär comes back in, assuming Fernandes hasn't made it. Jamal Lascelles, Paul Dummett will be left centre-back. And then you're probably going to ask Matt Ritchie, who had a great game at Watford. He'll play left wing-back. Diarmé for that bite in midfield, playing centre-mid. Atsu will play in that attacking midfield role. I'm going to predict he'll bring Shelvey back in for this one. And Hayden goes to the bench. And I think it'll be Perez. Unsure where he'll play, but I think he'll either play left or right. And then the big, beautiful man, Solomon Rondon, up top.
Solomon Rondon's the guy that's kind of he's taken over that goal-scoring, sort of reins at Newcastle. Bokka, is he someone that you look at as it could be a threat to Manchester United?
Definitely. We, in the past few years, we struggle with those big guys, strong guys. And I think that he will be a threat, but it depends on, how much we let him play. And I don't think we will let him play too much. But, Newcastle has a lot of, talented players even behind. So they will definitely look, to put the smiles off of our faces after the last 3 matches. So I don't think it will happen, but, Rafa Benitez is, he would definitely be happy to do it. But I think that, Rondon is not the only threat, but I think that he is the biggest threat, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. I think United sometimes do, especially this season, have that target man guy. They just can't deal with him. Dave, is there anyone else? Is it someone, Lee mentioned Matt Ritchie, who's been in very good form. United need to stop his delivery. Is there anyone that you can see that could do that? Maybe someone like a Jess Lingard?
Yeah, he's got the dog in him. He's got the fight to really... He puts in a shift. He loves this club.
He bloody loves it.
Someone who can do it. Also, Ander Herrera. Ander Herrera could definitely do a job. But I think he'll probably, if Shelvey does play, he'll probably shut down Jonjo Shelvey. That'll be his role. But, in terms of being scared of anyone else, it's Jonjo Shelvey. I am a huge fan of him. And, it's weird because he played for Liverpool and whatever. But, yeah, he's good. But he's never had the support behind him to really, I guess, thrive, in my opinion. But, yeah, Matt Ritchie, he's doing bits right now, so let's watch out for him.
Definitely. Lee, Jonjo Shelvey played really well against United in the last game at St James's Park. Do you think he's going to be someone that's going to look to dictate the play if Newcastle can get on the ball?
If he starts, that is, because we know that he's been missing for 5 games. He came off the bench on the weekend, and Rafa does like to rotate. So I think he will start, but the emphasis, it'll be more on him. It always is at home. And like I say earlier on, our home record is really, really poor. And with Rondon up top, we seem to have this target man where we can try and either go direct, like a quarterback role, pick it off the defence. But we'll also expect the wing-backs to bomb on as well if he's picking the ball up. But it's a threat, but I don't want to rely all on Shelvey, because if it doesn't work, we don't have a plan B. And Rafa's quite stubborn with his substitutions as well. He'll stick to the system and go with it. But I'd like to see the wing-backs bomb on, get the ball out wide and get it in.
Could be danger for Manchester United. Right, to finish things off today, guys, we're going to go for the score predictions. Dave, I'm going to come to you first. It's going to be a Man United win, but what's the score going to be?
Oh, can I just say how happy I am that we've scored 12 goals in the last 3 games? I mean, geez, that's
I love
insane.
celebrating goals. It's so much fun.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say 3-0. 3-0.
Nice. Bokka, what are you going to go with? 5-1? 6-1?
I'm going to say 3-1 for us because I'm really bad at predictions lately. So I hope I say 1 and we don't concede and we get that clean sheet finally. But let's say 3-1 for us.
Perfect. And Lee, what are you going with, buddy?
I think you'll win it, unfortunately. My heart is running over my head. Just the way we're playing at the moment, we're struggling to score goals. I think we've got to score 2 to try and beat us, and I don't think that'll happen. Obviously, January transfer windows open is a bigger thing, but I think we'll go down. I'm going to say 1-0 to use. I don't want it to be that way, but I think you'll nick it.
I'm going to go with 5-1 to Manchester United. We are in crazy form right now, and we're going to continue this. But anyway, guys, of course, check out all these lovely chaps. Bokka, we've got Day and, of course, Lee. Their links will be in the description below, so go and check those guys out. A lot of good content over there. But again, yeah, they'll be back again for the Newcastle game. Fancams with Adam McCullough.